morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the day of the video diary. How's it going today? Today we're at work 10 minutes early, but I'm going to go in anyway. Because I just managed to leave on time. Well, earlier than normal, expecting worse traffic than there was. So it wasn't too bad, but the traffic's definitely got worse because of the school holidays. Otherwise, I slept rather atrociously last night. Really bad, like, tossing and turning dreams and stuff. And I dreamt that, like, I was in a hotel. And it was like a weird hotel where it was like lots of rooms in big, like, something you see after like earthquakes and stuff, but it was a hotel. And then there were like lockers, but then I went back to my locker with all of my stuff in, including car keys and stuff. And like the lock was just like on the floor, like the tube. And so just lost all my shit. And it was stressful. So, anyway. Well, today we don't know what we're doing. I'm waiting to hear back on what I should be doing on a bug that they found and whether or not all of the bug needs doing or just some of it. Well, all of the feature needs doing or some of it, because the original, like, it's been raised as a bug even though it was never, like, the work was never done, but it was signed off. So, it's weird. I've also got defibrillator training and then probably some code reviews and shit, finally. It's like what I do on my time as well, so let's go. And we're back home, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? Today, we've had a pretty good day of work today. I managed to get quite a lot of code review stuff done this morning before going off to training. I was going through some guy, basically, right, so loosely speaking there's a number of different teams at work, very loosely speaking, because our team is like, got 20 people in it, and we don't really work together, we just work on, it's like a way of dividing who does what kind of work, rather than all working on the same stuff. So, she's still in an igloo, but hey. I'm now working on like core stuff. There are a number of people who are coming up from like the training stuff still. When you're on the training, you've got like a special board of things that aren't that important, but like need doing, and a good way to like get you in on the system. Some guy who's like leaving the training section picked up work that's like pretty fucking big and hefty. A bit like when I did my refactoring of that validator, which was huge. It took me ages. Someone code reviewed that, so I thought I'd pick up the gauntlet and help someone else on their code review on such a big thing. So I was diving through that. It's got things like bitwise bitwise operations there. I haven't really done a lot on bitwise operations. Not really sure why they're needed in the scenario that we've got them, but we've got them. And it's mainly a refactor stuff, so yeah, but I was diving through that, trying to be a good citizen doing such a hideous thing. And then I went off to my defibrillator training, which was like a refresh of the CPR that we've already done. So we did like a lot of that, and then we did scenarios and role plays and stuff, which was good fun. It was really good fun actually. And luckily we managed to finish early, so I had some lunch and then was working on my project for half an hour, so that's good. Still got my decent bit of coding in there. And then I jumped back onto the code reviews until I finally got back. Someone finally got back to me about that bug. We're going to try and get it in. It looks like that's what we originally wanted, but since it was signed off and then the code was done, well basically, wait, what am I doing? Everything was originally decided and wanted, and then we started developing it, only developed like a quarter of it. That got signed off, merged, tested, passed, and now it's failing the tests because the person who's now testing it is testing it properly against the original spec rather than, I don't know. And now I'm trying to fix it. So the last hour or so was spent trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. It looks like it's going to be slightly more work, so I'm like up to the thing. It might take me like the next 2 days or so to try and figure out. It depends on whether or not it's already designed to be able to do this, or I have to re-architecture it a little bit to make it a bit better. But there looks like there may be a possibility of having it like dynamically doing it itself. That being said, I'm trying to get that to work, and I spent like the last half hour or so trying to get that to work, and I just can't. So maybe not. Otherwise, drove back home, got here at about 4:30, and now I am sorting out my daily vlog from yesterday. Going to get that rendered and uploaded, and then I'm going to get some programming done on my project until Laura gets back, basically. Also shopping night tonight, so I've got to do like dinner and stuff, which is tuna and pasta bake, which takes a lot longer than. Sorry. What am I saying? Trillion past 8, which takes a lot longer than normal. So I've got to rejig my timings. It takes 45 minutes rather than 20, so I've got to figure out, like, basically as soon as she gets on the bus, start doing it. I think that's probably the best shout. Then, ladies and gentlemen, I have just sorted out that video, and it's time to get into my own work. What am I doing? What have I been doing? I've been working on my project today, as I normally do. I'm currently trying to figure out what I can call, I thought I'd rubber duck this to you, what I can call something that I'm trying to make. Currently, my startup, the thing that controls the startup of my program, like, it goes through and it uses the different, what does it do? It goes off and uses all of the different legs of the program to set up the working environment, basically, to initialize the environment. So it will go through, it will get the code, it will compile it, it will run the tests. It will then pass off to the next controller. Actually, it just kind of finishes, and the controller that called it then calls the next controller. It then passes that information to the next controller, and that controller is then responsible for actually carrying out the process, and then there might be like a clean-up controller at the end, I don't know. Something like that. At the moment I only have 2. Technically I only have 1, but my previous code only had 2. The thing is, the legs, specifically the... I don't know why I keep going to that door. Specifically the compilation leg, that compiles all the code and it returns the results for the compilations. It doesn't necessarily return them in the same order because it's all asynchronous and anything can happen. So the main system then has to figure out what it needs to do with that. It needs to figure out which which kind of solution didn't compile, and then act accordingly. Because in the main system, like a bad compilation failure means it'll have to go off to this other thing, whereas currently in the startup, if a compilation fails, it goes, right, no, can't work with this, it broke. At the moment, me like passing the results and going through all the results and going, oh, we had a failure, kill itself, that's happening inside that main controller, and I kind of want it to happen somewhere else. I kind of want to have something where I pass the list of solutions we've got to test, the list of results we've got back, and then puts them all into a new list of, like, puts the results into the corresponding test, like, solution thing, that object, and then spits it back out so I can mock it out. Because currently that does not happen. Currently, why does that not happen? Anyway, yeah, so I'm trying to think of a good name for that. Because it doesn't, I'm not parsing it, I'm like combining the two, I'm like merging the two lists, because I've got a list of something that fits on an object and a list of the object it fits onto. And I'm thinking of separating it out. I don't necessarily need to, but because I go through and calculate the whether or not it passed or not. That's the thing, isn't it? That's what I need to do. What I'm doing is setting up the because I go through and figure out which projects didn't build, and then I return the list of them. Well, I don't return the list of them, but I like log that in the error so that I know which ones didn't build. I'm also creating a new list of ones that did build. And I don't really know why I'm doing that. So I'm going to find out. And time jump, ladies and gentlemen. It's nearly 1:45 and I am about to head off to bed. What's been going on? Keeping an eye on you, Will. What's been going on, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I figured out what it was I was going to do with reference to my dilemma. I was moving it out into a separate file in the end, and I ended up calling that file a helper. Rather unimaginatively named. Graham is just having a fucking... She's on her best behaviour now, but... oh. She's turned a food bowl upside down and she's just gonna fucking bat it about for a bit, I think. Oh. least she's doing this to this instead of a house. So I'm now able to go through and I have the helper doing certain things based on the results, which is all nice and swaggy. Got that all in, all good. Well, decided on that kind of infrastructure, started building it out. Then Laura came back. We had some dinner, which was tuna pesto bake. Had our planned like our meals for the week and stuff. And then we went shopping. Just a relatively normal food shop for the week. We did purchase something new, however. We have a new toaster. Been hovering over a toaster for a while. Our toaster is like, was annoying. The bread doesn't fit in it properly is one, but then also it was like all chrome on the top, and it had like started to rust. I've had it for like a long time. I had it in second year, so 4 or 5 years old it was. We've been keeping an eye out for a toaster that wasn't chrome on the top and that matched the kettle, and we got this. And I believe we used to have this in my old house in Nottingham. I know it's good. But yeah, so after shopping, came back here, sorted out all the stuff, and then sorted out the toaster and shit, and then watched an episode of The Crown until Laura went to bed. Graham, what the fuck are you doing? She's trying to get it into her igloo. You're so weird, Graham. Now look, she's just down there. You can't see because she's down here on the bottom. I'm pointing on the screen as if you can see that. She's here. Moment. She keeps trying to get this inside her igloo. Otherwise, I've been staying up. I've stayed up since about like been up for about 2 hours actually programming. Since Laura went to bed, about 10 to now. And I now have it so that everything is all fine and dandy, everything's all nice and 100% tested. And my results are coming back not only from the testing project, but also from the startup controller. And I've now got to go through to the fun part of the project. Yeah. So I've just been like trying to refresh my brain about how all that kind of stuff works, so that I can jump onto it tomorrow. I should have lots of time to jump onto it tomorrow as well, because Laura is meeting a work friend after work to do with some the training stuff she's working on. So yeah, so I'm having dinner by myself. I've got a pizza and I'm gonna get a load of programming done. I'm gonna have pizza and programming, boys. It's gonna be great. But yeah, that's been today. It's been very productive. It's been very, very, very productive. I mean, I'm definitely a lot more productive like in the office, I think. When I sit down and do work in the office and I turn Atlas off, or if I'm working on Atlas, I'm much more productive than I am in here, or if I'm in there with Atlas on. But yesterday, I did 2 hours and 30 minutes dead on. It's quite impressive. Oh, I can't see a difference in this view. 2 hours 30 minutes yesterday and 42 minutes today, so over 3 hours and 12 minutes we've done today. So tomorrow it's probably going to be a little bit higher. I've kind of got this scheme now where I work really fucking hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I stay up really late Thursday so that the hours add up to Friday, and then I kind of just work until Laura gets home on Friday, and then that should tide me over by far for the week. And then I just find pockets of time at the weekend. That's kind of the system that I'm going with. It's besides my bedtime, to try and like make the most of when I'm productive. Well, make the most of being able to do fun things with Laura at the weekend, while also getting a fuckload of work done. So yeah, basically, because I've stayed up late tonight, tomorrow will shift slightly. Because I've already done 42 minutes of today's programming, I will go to bed ever so slightly earlier. I know it's kind of a weird trick I'm playing on myself. Go to bed ever so slightly earlier, so I might go to bed more or less when Laura does, depends when she gets back. And then going for a meal, I think I might be going for drinks and stuff, so I don't know how long. But yeah, and I obviously have that chunk when Laura's not here, so I can get loads done then. Just getting shit done. You just gotta keep chugging away. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm gonna head off to bed. I'll catch you later.